Something very interesting is happening in this small village in the Kaluga region of Russia. Every year, a group of artists come together and create these large wooden structures that are meant to be burnt to the ground. But for this year's structure, the Tower of Babel from the biblical stories was chosen as the model for the structure. It was built from stray pallets and leftover hay, I think they said. Architect Ekaterina Polyakova, I'm probably butchering her name, says that she built the model of the Tower of Babel for the annual festival to celebrate the coming together of humanity. By the time they were finished, the structure ended up being 20 meters tall, or 65 feet, which was purposely left unfinished, she says, because the tower from the biblical stories was also left unfinished. For those unfamiliar with the biblical story, the people of the earth came together under one religion and one language, and to show their greatness and to celebrate their greatness, they built this tower to either rival God or to reach him or be able to communicate with him directly, depending on your interpretation of the story, which she also mentions in this article. She mentions that people's interpretations can be different about the biblical story, but that the reason that they were stopped, in my opinion, was because they did come together, that they weren't meant to come together, that the more you concentrate man's power and authority and civilization, the more you concentrate its evil, because we're just fallen beings by nature. At any rate, her interpretation of burning this in this ceremony is to show that we shouldn't let our differences get in the way and that we should come together, which is the opposite of what I think the message is, the way I interpret it. But of course, before being finished, they lowered this, what looks like a burning type of boulder or burning ball of hay, into it and ignited the structure. It's just fascinating to me that people use these types of symbols, and to me, it's used wrongly if her interpretation is correct from what was stated in the article, because this is the antithesis of what the lesson that I got from the biblical story. But it's just interesting that they use these symbols in this ritual. You know, we've got hundreds of people watching this thing burn for hours. It's also kind of interesting to consider what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, of course, and the threats of World War III and sort of Putin's holdout against the New World Order, and the European Union and those nations sort of aligned against him and him resisting it. It's just interesting and kind of open to interpretation. Of course, this is art, but I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts about what's going on here and what the intent is behind this. So let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one.